last home season of the schedule against Mississippi State. Just your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's hard to believe to look out and see the flag that there's only 3 games remaining in the season, in the regular season here at home. So we certainly, the last weekend of the current facility at Sewell Thomas. So you know, I think that's one thing that's important to all of us, and we certainly want to have a good showing in that last weekend. And you know, going into this weekend, I've been pleased after being swept at home by Florida, the way our team's recovered. I think we've shown a lot of maturity and some experience with that. With our last 4 ball games, we've played solid and really have gotten our pitching back on track over the weekend. And offensively, we've been swinging the bats extremely well. So again, I mean, this is the back end of a really tough 4-week run for us here on the weekends, and Mississippi State, another just quality opponent that is right up top of the SEC and been playing really good baseball. And so we expect another real challenge to finish out the league play here this weekend.
The good thing or bad thing you got to rest so much of the bullpen last week?
Well, I think it's going to be a good thing. I think that last night I thought we showed a little bit of rust with a couple guys that weren't quite as sharp, but at the same time I thought Ray Castillo and Mitch Greer were outstanding. Probably 2 of their better outings this year, but it was good to get them back on the mound, last night. And I think those guys will return, to being sharp, come this weekend.
How much can, now that you're down sort of the nitty-gritty with these scenarios and seedings and things like that, how much do you personally let that, factor into decisions that you make throughout the weekend?
Well, for us, it really does not factor in a whole lot. I mean, because you're really concentrating on your opponent and the things you have to do to be successful in that particular game, to put your team in a position to win. And because all those scenarios really doesn't matter if you don't win the game. Mm-hmm. And so as a coach, you're trying to factor in every scenario that comes up that's going to help your team be in the best position to win. And from who's starting, who's relieving, but there's also a lot of factors that go into that too, as far as where guys' health, where their health is at that particular time, how many pitches, from the week before. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. But more than anything, I mean, mentally, you want your team in a good place, just to be ready to play. I think when you have that, you're going to have a good chance to go out and be successful in each ball game.
You tweaked the rotation last weekend. Did you see something similar?
Yeah, well, what we're going to do this weekend, we're going to Jeffrey Bramblett's going to start on Thursday night. Then we'll go Spencer Turnbull on Friday and Camp Lane on Saturday. And the reason being, with the rain out on Friday, that knocked Turnbull back to Saturday. So both Turnbull and Camp Lane through Saturday. And just quite honestly, it's not enough rest for those 2 kids to come back and pitch on Thursday. And we've got John Keller, who's been really good for us on Sundays, having some bicep tendonitis, and should be available to pitch out of the bullpen this weekend, but not in a starting role. And so Jeffrey's going to get his first SEC start. He's pitched really well for us on Tuesdays. And so I think it's an opportunity, too, with that bullpen we talked about, may be used early but, the expectation for each weekend for Spencer and Justin, as they've done, is, they'll pitch anywhere from, 80 to 100 pitches. And to do that, you have to have proper rest. And we're just unfortunate with the rain out and the way the weekend worked last week. Then you've got a shortened down week this week. So, but that's the way we'll go. And we're confident in that rotation. And I think that, as I said, I think our guys have responded and are in a good place right now heading into this last weekend.
Do you have a number of wins that you think you need to get to be the host a regional here?
Not really. I mean, I think right now we need to, obviously the key, I think, going into every weekend is win the series. And I think that, that's what we've got to work to put ourselves in position to do that. And I don't think it's any secret. We would need to win a series and then make a pretty deep run, I think, into the SEC tournament to put ourselves in position to host. But really for me, It's more about our team being in a good place moving forward here as we get into postseason play. When you work through the SEC schedule and the teams that you've played, we all want to host and we want to be at home. That we know that percentages add up if that happens. But I also think that any team in this league that makes it through this league is super dangerous when you get into postseason play, because there really isn't anything you haven't seen or any arena you haven't been to that you're not comfortable in playing in. So I think the most important thing is having a healthy team that's in a good frame of mind and in a good place to play good baseball once postseason hits.
You're going up against a Mississippi State team that's proven over the past couple of years they're really solid, especially in the SEC. Just talk about all three phases of their game.
Yeah, well, Mississippi State's had a tremendous run last year into the College World Series, playing for the national championship, and returned quite a bit of that group as well. And really, one of the strengths of State is their bullpen. They've got two kids, Lindgren's left-hander out of the pen, and Holder, who's been dynamite for them for years. And they go to those guys early, and they'll come in the third, fourth, fifth inning, and once they get a lead or if the game's tight, and they hold it down. So offensively, they're a very disciplined ball club that's going to force you to pitch and make quality pitches, and they defend the field extremely well, and they're going to make you earn everything you get. So very well coached team, a team that always plays really well in the back end of the season, but really for us, every weekend, and that's the one thing I think with over the last month of the teams we've had in front of us, it forces you to play at a high level, and I think that's going to be a really good thing for us as we move into the SEC tournament and postseason play, with just who's been on our schedule here in the last month.